All right, this is a WGDR Studio quick tutorial on the Pioneer DJ mixer that we have for the two turntables and our two aux cord mini cords that go into digital devices like laptops, iPads, tablets, or smartphones. So first off, to know how to turn this on, and we have a quick little guide that's on the bulletin board just above the mixer in the studio, but to turn on the mixer, in the back right corner, see how there's a little power symbol right here? You have to reach down and feel for the little press button. It's in the lower right hand corner, and turn it on. This will turn on all of the lights on the mixer. The next thing to know is at the very top of the mixer, for both the channel 1 and channel 2, there are actually three options for the channel to be put into. All the way to the left is the computer option, which we don't actually use the mixer for. This is a USB input that can make the mixer work with a Pioneer DJ software. So we don't use the far left one that has a little computer icon. We use the middle one, which is line. Line stands for the auxiliary plug-in. In other words, the digital input for this channel to work with a laptop that's plugged into auxiliary, the line number 3, the little RCA cord that goes to a mini. Or it's the third option, which is phono, and you click it over to phono, the far right. That is for turntable. That means it's enabled to play the sound coming out of the left turntable when it's in phono. So again, phono is turntable, middle for the line, the middle line option is auxiliary number 3. That's that mini cord that goes to a mini plug, and it controls this entire channel here. Same kind of thing for the second channel here. On the top, you've got the three options, the computer option, which we don't use, the middle option, which is the line in, which again is the mini cord. This one is for the auxiliary number 4 cord, and far right for the phono option for turntables to operate the channel number 2 for the right turntable. Generally, you will find this mixer in the line mode or the turntable mode. So if you can't get a sound on your auxiliary cords for line 3 or line 4, it's probably because the channel is still in turntable mode, aka phono mode. So that's the first thing I'd have folks check. The rest of the channel works pretty straightforwardly. The very top is called trim. This is essentially a volume control. You never want it all the way over. You want it about 3/4 of the way for each of these to make sure it's not blowing the mixer out or eventually the board, which is where this all gets patched into. You've got your highs, mediums, and lows for messing with your EQ. In the middle here is where you will see the volume control, your little mini view meters. Just like on the broadcast board, you only want these at the 0, halfway up. You don't want them going into the orange and the red. That means that it's really working the mixer too hard, and you're going to get distortion with the feed coming out of the mixer going into the board. Down here, this option here for filter and effects is not something we use on the mixer, so you can just skip that. You've got Q, works just like on the broadcast board. If you put it into Q and you have the headphones plugged into the actual mixer, so this is headphone jack down here, and you put it into Q, over on the right side here under headphones, the volume control all the way to the left on this one right here will give you the Q that's coming out of here, or if you turn it all the way over to the right, you get the master mix. So this is what's coming out not in Q, but is what's coming out through the master of the mixer out of the whole mixer. This last level right here is a pan to your left or your right channel in your headphones, but the main volume here is controlling, again, if you're going into Q or the mix to the full master. These are the two volume controls for headphones. This is the master volume for the entire mixer right here. And again, just like with the trim, you want it at 3/4 of the volume right here. Finally, down here, you've got two types of faders. You've got the fader for individual channel, and you've got the cross fader to go from left to right, left to right. Now you do want to use this so it's a smooth transition if you're going from a left auxiliary over to the right auxiliary, otherwise known as aux 3 to aux 4, or same kind of idea if you're going from left turntable to right turntable. It gives you that nice crossfade effect. Now, sometimes people also mess with these settings. You want the cross reverse off. Cross reverse basically makes it a reverse setting, which is not what you want. And you want the middle selection of a smooth crossover. So one channel fading into the other channel. That's this middle setting right here. There are, once again, three options on this. Through, which is just a hard fade. Middle, which is the crossfade you want. Or the far right, which is, again, just a different type of fade, but not the one that you want. In order for the channel to actually be putting out signal, it needs to be faded over to the channel you want. So if we're playing the right turntable, we want it all the way to the right. You want the fader all the way up, and again, the trim at the top about 3/4 of the way. This should be then putting out the signal from your auxiliary 4 or the right turntable out through the mixer out to the board. Same kind of idea if you want channel 3 playing instead for auxiliary 3, or the left turntable, you want the fader all the way to the left, this fader all the way up, and again, the trim about 3/4 of the way. That's your quick overview of the Pioneer mixer, which is for the turntables, and the 2 auxiliary cords in the WGDR studio.